I am joined by co-founders Adeel and Rupert Samuel, the masterminds behind Walletly, which is the #1 mobile wallet marketing platform in the world. Adeel also founded Monster Hub, which is one of Australia's leading app development companies that leverages his deep understanding of neuromarketing. So we're chatting with some amazingly talented gents today, and I'm excited to kick things off with a question about Walletly specifically. Adeel, can you share with us how did you come up with Walletly? How does it work? What does it do? Give us a rundown.
It's a quite broad question. Thank you for having us. Let's start with that. Walletly is, I don't want to jump into the product first. So I think Rupert would be the best person to get inside the, I would just go more on basic understanding why Walletly and how did we come up with Walletly. Walletly is a gamification and reward-based platform. And the whole idea is about instant gratification. You know, we, as a human being, we are designed to have those rewards and instant gratification. But unfortunately today, all the loyalty cards and everything we have around us, they're not there. I mean, everything is on a plastic, and we don't get those instant gratification, those dopamine straight away. And that was the main reason to come up with Walletly, because I couldn't find anything which is designed for the human behavior. So let me start with something with a lot of marketers. I'll share my screen. Is that okay?
Yeah, yep. Go ahead. Looking forward to it.
Okay. So I'll just share my screen. So a lot of marketers will go back and explain this 3% rule, which was by Jeremy Miller. And they talk about this pyramid was 10% of the market and then 90% of the market here. So the 10% market, which is the 3% is active buyer, which is already on a Google, and you're competing in a Google with this 3% active buyers. And then 7% of the market, which is on Facebook, and you can nurture them and turn them into a buyer. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does. As I had shared with you earlier today, Adeel, it's just absolutely uncanny that you are the second person today to show me this exact pyramid. So clearly when it's coming from multiple resources, it must be on the money.
Yes. And then nobody talks about the remaining 90%. And this 90%, where the first top half, 30%, have a need but not ready to act. So I have had a word with Jeremy Miller on this 90%, this 30%. This is quite big chunk in a market. And how can we get a spark to start them? And this is where we talk about the reward or extensive motivation. So there are a couple of books in a gamification that define the extrinsic motivation. They say that human behavior need some external motivation to have that spark. And that spark is something like giving a coupon or loyalty points to give them a start. So they are ready, but they are not ready to act. They need it. So how can we turn them into a customer?
Do you think that element or that percentage of the audience as well is also somewhat of the remarketing audience? So the people who have perhaps engaged with you already, they've come from the do not need that you've pushed it in front of them with, a targeted ad campaign, for example. They've expressed a tiny bit of an interest, and then you're hitting them again with rewards and with incentives, with remarketing offers that continue to build that connection to the brand.
Absolutely. This is the market we're talking about. So they have identified they have a need, but how do we ask them to act? Now, this is where we talk about the behavior science and extrinsic motivation. So there is an internal motivation and external motivation. Internal motivation, it's a big subject. I don't want to talk about it. But extrinsic motivation are these tools which is known as gamification, rewards, loyalty points, and all other stuff. Now, here's something interesting which been working on and found. And I went back and did my research on extrinsic motivation and why we act in a way when we see rewards. What is so good about points that we act? And I went back and I found thousands of years ago, even the religions have the points. It doesn't matter. I did my research on 27, I think there were 18 religions initially.
Wow. Yeah.
There is no religion in the world without point system.
Can you give us an example?
Islam, Christianity.
Yeah.
You do good things, you get points. You do bad things, you get negative points. At the end, you go hell and heaven.
Yeah, yeah.
We are designed for the points and reward system. It make us move. The second part is visual feedback. So once we have started moving, and this is again a research done by Dan Ariely, where they want farmers to save more money, and they did a lot of loss aversion and different kind of techniques. What they found is by simply giving them visual feedback when they're saving money was the big motivation. Okay, and we're talking about, I think the whole study was conducted in a very poor country, Chile, and they were giving them coins. And if you save some today, you need to scratch the coin that you saved it today. And this visual feedback was enough for them to give a motivation to continue powering. Now, if we apply the same thing Walletly or something like Wallet, in a reward base, we go and do the shopping, we get points, but where are these visual feedback? Why can't I see my points and I have to wait my email once a month to see that, I have jumped up on the points or my stem cards? This is how the visual feedback and the external motivation is connected. And that was the foundation of Walletly.
That sounds great. So to put it into even more simplistic terms that people who aren't familiar with the process to that extremity, would you say that this is somewhat of a modern flyby system? Or frequent flyer points, shopper rewards?
Yeah, so I would say start your own flybys to the small businesses. That's it.
Yeah, that's great.
Language, flybys and Velocity. I worked with Virgin Airlines as well. Flybys is a very successful company, and then Virgin Velocity is the most successful. It was actually far more successful than airline as well. So Velocity is a separate company to Virgin Airlines, and Velocity was far more successful. And it was all because of the gamification. So in order to have a success, start your own flybys in your own small business.
I absolutely, sorry to interrupt. I was just about to share that I preach to our clients the importance of not just having promo, offer, but engaging with an audience through gamification. Building that relationship in a fun way as opposed to just a constant sell all the time. So I just think that everything that you're sharing today, Adeel, is just amazing, really good, really inspiring.
Yeah. So I think that answers your question, why Walletly and what the role of Walletly is in business. Then the next big challenge was something like reward system and putting into the business. It's quite a big challenge. Even I'm technical. The complication of combining few systems together, it's too hard. And then if you want to pass those rewards to the customer straight away, that's a whole different level of complication. So Walletly we did is like 10 minutes and you have your own flybys ready to go.
And so the great thing that you've kind of touched on there, which leads into my next question, is how it's not on a separate app. It's not taking somebody from a purchase, asking them to download an app, then expecting them to go onto the app as well. It's really transitioning them in almost a seamless way from social media and then from within social media into the chat. So it would be great if one of you could share an example of a user's journey from social media, a post or an ad, and how you bring them in store and then attach them onto the loyalty program.
I think Rupert would be best person to describe that.
Sure. I mean, it's simple enough. I mean, if you're using a platform such as ManyChat to be able to, take your chatbot flows through it, you can obviously use any of the growth tools that you can use from ManyChat to acquire someone into a chatbot. You don't only have to use something like a chatbot. You can also just use, let's say SMS or a form to be able to opt a customer in. So at the point you've got your ad running, you can use any of the ManyChat growth tools. You can also use growth tools from Walletly, which is the URL or the QR code growth tool. Your consumers, I mean, when you're dealing with ManyChat, you do need one question, which is, are we going to base our customers from phone numbers or email addresses? And it means that you're going to ask your user inside of your ManyChat bot, what is their phone number, what is their email address? And, you know, the fact that you've got this person's email or phone number, you've got them on Messenger, and at this point, you're now going to give them their pass that they can add to their mobile wallet. Like you mentioned earlier, you know, there isn't an extra step that, you know, this is usually the largest friction point that you have with any consumer, is that as soon as you say, hey, download an app, then come back to this, then click this, then go back to the app and then do something else. And then whilst you're doing that, stand on your head. And
Yeah.
it's not, you know, ABC. And that's, you know, the main thing of where Walletly kind of comes into this, is that, you know, the user clicks one button and then just clicks another, and it's added into their mobile wallet. And at that point, you know, not only, unlike, you know, traditional loyalty cards, have you got either their email or phone number for re-engaging, remarketing, you know, all of those kind of capabilities of what you would like to do with those assets, you've also got the capability now of having that user have their mobile wallet inside, their pass inside of their mobile wallet, and you can now start selling wallet notifications, which are a lot cheaper, well, they're just as good as SMS, cheaper, they're just as good as mobile, as Messenger, pretty much the same price will go with, but without any of the rules. And, you know, open rates and click rates on wallet notifications are much higher than email. So, you know, if you do a little comparison against the three, you know, you kind of head up with a pretty, you know, a very, very good overall mark on them. But going that one extra step, you then get the location-based notifications, which does not come with any of the other types of notification channels. So,
which is, yeah, one of the things that we absolutely love about Walletly. So just, can I simplify that for our audience today, because a lot of them probably don't understand the programming side of things and don't understand, you know, that we are all passionate advocates for ManyChat. We all love ManyChat as our preferred chatbot building software. So just to bring that down into, I guess, a use case, an example would be that a restaurant, for example, maybe doing a promotion to try and engage people to come into their restaurant. They've got an advert, or they've got a post which is up based on engagement. If people are commenting, or if they're clicking on a button, the chatbot will bring them into a one-on-one conversation. When they're in that conversation, they'll receive a call to action to sign up for a loyalty card, come in store, get 10% off, etc., etc. Once they're in Messenger and they've got the loyalty rewards, it actually takes them directly from Messenger into their mobile wallet, which is already within their mobile phone device. And the great thing is that once they have reached the mobile wallet, you then don't need to be paying for ongoing notifications through there to an extremity for a new lead. And the excellent feature, which is one of our absolute favorite features, is that the company can then start using a geo mapping, correct me if I'm wrong, whatever the terminology is, that whenever they walk past, oh, what was it called?
No, I said good terminology.
Oh, thank you. So whenever a customer could be within a particular radius, they'll receive a notification then on their phone that says, hey, Rupert, why don't you come back into the restaurant with the latest offer? Which is a function that isn't available to any of the other type of adverts which are running, or any type of marketing platform. So it's so unique, it's brilliant. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on the GeoMap feature for me?
Yeah, I would just add one line, sorry, Rupert, just one more line, that we are the first one to coin the term chat enrollment.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Chat enrollment.
Okay.
We coined that term. So what it means is, usually, you know, when you want to get into loyalty program, you have to fill the forms, or, you know, there are other ways to join, but this is the only platform where you can join through chat. So chat enrollment. You can enroll through QR code, you can enroll through other places as well, but we coined that term.
Yeah, so, love that. And so the great thing is with chat as well is that it will take a user directly through. It already knows their name because they've connected through their Facebook account. So really it would be just a one-click sign up
Correct.
Yeah. And sorry, Rupert, can you share more about the geo map feature with us?
Sure. So, I mean, like from a few different use cases, case studies, I guess. I mean, like, I think it's a better thing to basically say, where is a good idea to use a geo location? You know, I would have to say, use them in the park. Like, you wouldn't really think it, but I mean, like, you know, if you got your local town and city, a lot of people go visit the park. Go and place them over like general public areas where you know that, you know, not even sure your audience will be there, but at least you can say something like, hey, looks nice in the park, seems a little bit more re-engageable, seems a little more friendly, seems a little bit not like you're exactly selling to them, but they're a little bit surprised that they know you're in the park. 'Cause it's like, I genuinely tested this and people were quite surprised on it. And the next one is, you know, if that user is heading down the road to one of your competitors in the local vicinity, you can always ping a little notification. You know, my pizza's better than their pizza if you want to, just for sake of it.
Love these.
And you know, for other general hotspots, so like events, you know, here in the UK where I am, we have rugby going on, or not rugby at the moment, but you know that will be going on. And yeah, you know, you're going to have a lot of traffic that's going to be going to there physically, you know, at an event. And, you know, that's another place you want to make sure that you use the geo notifications, and obviously on top of your own location. So when they get to your location or close to it, you can say something like, hey, I see you're close by. Why don't you pop in for a cup of tea? They're the four best ideas I'd have for using geolocations. But
yeah, that is brilliant. I really love the, hey, my pizza is better than your pizza. I've got a fitness client at the moment that I think would love if we targeted other gyms and came back and said, hey, our establishment is better. I'm also thinking about another client that we have worked with. They do several different shopping precincts within a CBD, so perhaps even targeting the train station to be able to get all the city workers would just be an amazing opportunity for them. So love that.
Train stations are the perfect example, to be honest with you. A lot of passing traffic going in and out of there, and you know, everybody who's a member or part of your loyalty program or coupons or essentially whatever it is, any campaign that you've installed into that user with any of the passes, if they walk through that zone, they will get that type of notification. And a train station, bus station, airport, even if people are coming off of it. I mean, it was one of my I remember it was one of my ideas actually I remember I caught Mike from ManyChat at the very end of the 2018 or 2019 conversations conference, and I said to him, can we, you know, some point think about maybe using Walletly and ManyChat for each other? And I said to him that you could actually send people wallet notifications when they land at the airport in Texas. So everybody who ever came to that event, if they had a pass beforehand, they'd been welcome to Texas, because they just got off the airport. And I thought that would have been a pretty good one. So it's funny you mentioned the bus station, because it just reminded me of me saying that scenario to Mike, funny enough.
Absolutely love that. So in terms of how far you can, or I guess how narrow you can pinpoint a location, can you pinpoint it to a store, or can you pinpoint it to, does it have to be a nominated radius? How does that actually work?
You can pinpoint, let's say, a location on the map just as much as where you would say, let's say, a postcode is, or you can just drag and drop where you say the location is. But then after that, it is based either off of 100 meters or 1,000 meters, dependent on the type of campaign pass that the user has added to their mobile wallet. So if it's an event ticket, it will do it from 1,000. If it's any other, it will do it from 100 meters. Okay. And I mean, there's two types of location notifications inside of Walletly as well, just to give some definition, you know, outside of what I just said to you with the radius part of it. There's the beacon, which is triggered off of the wallet scan application, which most, you know, clients would use for the redemption part of any campaign. And then there is a location notification, which is they do something slightly different. When a beacon notification, which is based off of somebody being close to my phone, let's say me as a waiter or a staff member of the actual location, that will send up a notification. It'll hit the customer's phone and it'll stay on the front. And then the customer, if they want to, when they're outside, can swipe across, read about it, and then they can carry on about their day. The geo notifications, or the location notifications as they're known in the platform, those ones, if the user is within the 100 meters, like if they don't leave that 100-meter radius, that notification will sit on their phone until they leave the radius of that 100 meters. So it is like a persistent message on their phone because they are within those 100 meters, as to a beacon is like a flash one, like a wallet notification, or like any other type of notification you've most probably used for. But not, I didn't realize, but I found that a lot of people haven't, or a lot of marketers or business owners haven't really came across persistent notifications that stick to the front of your lock screen, unlike SMS and other things.
Yeah, so just to simplify that even further is just to be nice and clear. What Rupert has just shared is that if somebody enters a nominated area that you have defined as a business or a brand, you can actually push a promotional message, and these promotional messages don't come with the same rules and restrictions that are within Facebook. So you can push a coupon, a sale, an offer, anything that your heart desires, and it actually sits on a phone within your phone. So they don't need to go into an app to see the notification. They don't need to go into the email inbox to see the notification. It sits first and foremost, front of face, right on your closed screen until they either leave the area or they swipe to avoid the notification, which is brilliant, very powerful.
No. So there's two types. They can swipe some of them from the beacon and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And then the location notifications, the customer has to physically leave that 100 meters, is that 100-meter circle on your map. If they are within that 100 meters, they cannot get rid of that notification off of their phone. So when you're telling them that my pizza is better than your pizza, they have to see that. If they look at if they go up and down on their phone like 3 or 4 times, like within, I don't know, a couple of minutes or something, they will see that. Like, it is impossible for them to see it, impossible for them to miss it, impossible for them to swipe across it and then come back to it if they're still within that zone. If they're outside your competitor, you are literally stuck onto their lock screen until they leave, say 100 meters up the road from their competitor.
So if I went past a gym, let's use the gym as the scenario. So we've nominated a competitor. We have now wanted to push a promo to anybody that has historically connected with us before in the past. It says, hey, don't go in there, Rupert, come into our gym. If it's within that 100-meter radius, even if they go on their phone, check other messages, take a phone call, but they're still sitting in the cafe that's next door, when that phone locks, the message comes back again and sits on there again. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So it just doesn't leave their home screen until they leave the radius of that 100 meters or 1,000 meters, depending on the type of campaign, that the event ticket versus the rest of them.
Yeah.
It's consistently on their lock screen. It's the one place that all marketers, all businesses really are trying to claim as their own, because the unfortunate thing is, like, just as a bit of an imagination here, imagine you get, let's say, 20 other types of notification from social media applications, emails, SMS, all this other kind of crap that goes on in the world. Your message of like, don't go to that location or whatever your location notification is going to be, that will get pushed down normally with normal types of notifications. But with this type of notification, even if it got pushed down, it doesn't matter, because all I got to do is unlock my screen. It gets rid of all those notifications, but straight back there is then going to be the location notification. So no, you can't get interrupted from other people's messages from other applications on that user's phone. You can't get distracted from not, locking, then unlocking your phone. That customer will see that message. Like, it's 100%, they're going to see it. It's only up to them now to swipe across and click a link or something inside of that wallet notification location message.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So the other thing as well, before I go past that, are there fees associated with sending these persistent notifications? So is there a cost involved to do that? Is that part of a subscription? How does that work?
That's just part of the Walletly subscription
fee. Yeah. So is there a limit, or is it a scaled subscription fee? How does that work?
There's no limit on messages or anything upon that nature. We charge you Walletly based on the quantity of subscribers you have, which is another way of saying how many emails, how many phone numbers have we collected and given people passes for them to add to their mobile wallet. So, you know, you could have 1,000 people that opt in for a stamp card, and that would charge you X, but the starting fee for Walletly starts at $10 going upwards based off of the quantity of subscribers that you have.
So it's incredibly cost effective,
and you use like ManyChat and MailChimp and ActiveCampaign and stuff like that.
Well, what I'm even thinking is that, you know, traditionally people are paying a graphic designer to do some artwork. They're then going to a printer and paying the printer to print off 1,000 cards. They're paying for the shipping on that, you know, so it is quite an expensive process to have a hard version anyway, which, let's be honest, we chuck out, we lose, we leave on the kitchen bench, whereas this is almost a guarantee that it sits in their phone. It's a loyalty card that they can constantly access. And from the business and brands perspective, it's a nominal fee in comparison to actually going and getting things printed.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I mean,
excellent.
Like, just to run over those printed bits, but I mean, you know, like you give somebody a printed stamp card or coupon, you know, piece of paper or something. You don't like there's stages inside of these types of campaigns. The opt-in has the customer taken us up on the actual pass and moved on past of it. We never really know that with any kind of paper stuff. Like we never know their email, we never know that phone number. We can never re-engage them. We can never get them if we know they're out the store. And you know, as much as it's also, you know, like you said, a lot more expensive. But I mean, like ultimately, it doesn't really do anything for you, but really just burn that money you burnt on bloody buying the paper and the shipping and all the nonsense, really.
Yeah, excellent point. The other thing as well that we have noticed is that you have a tap function with mobile wallet. Can you expand on that so we can understand that in quite simplistic ways?
The tap function?
Yeah, yep. So we had a little look when we were doing our research, and it said that you have, is it a tap and pay, and it links in with GPay?
So what you're referring to here is it's not this is the interest, this is the kind of stuff I was pushing on with my talk at conversations, this bit. The mobile wallet, GPay, Apple Pay, you know, wallet, you know, these are traditionally utilized by consumers for a form of payment. Okay, so users, all they need to do is they can add their credit card, debit cards, all these kind of different things to it. But in, you know, the real world, not the digital world, our wallet doesn't only just carry things of credit card and debit card kind of situations. It also carries loyalty cards, coupons, and other things. So traditionally, the wallet is utilized by consumers, or was invented to be able to be a payment gateway, which is more secure than utilizing your debit card and credit card via a PIN or a NFC payment scenario. The actual wallet, like I said, it can add your debit card or credit card to it. And if you wanted to pay for something, you only got to pick up your phone, tap the home button twice, and then put your phone on it, and it pays for it. And you only got to scan your face, and then you essentially just move on. It's a lot faster. Banks prefer it. There's more security around it, and there you go. And with the moving traffic, if you look at the, you know, the ratio of audiences of younger to older and all the other kind of things in between of it, you know, you will find that people are paying, you know, are actually paying more with their mobile wallet than paying with their physical card. Okay, and
yeah, on their Apple Watch and
yes, from their Apple Watch as well. And it does stem from a younger audience, not so much, let's say, the older audience. Okay, and I mean, the only, like, I always find it, I mean, obviously you can always look at all the graphs, you can look at all the numbers, but I mean, like I always like to kind of refer back to a real life situation that happened to me that kind of makes me go, yeah, this is definitely the direction we're going. You know, I've got lots of different, you know, friends, clients and things that work in different types of marketing circles and things. And one chap, a friend of mine called Charlie, who does events around students who, you know, all come to their university, and we've all just had that all open here in September, last month or so, with universities around me. They have this big event where everyone's basically trying to give all the students freebies to come in and do stuff. And Charlie just could, like, obviously he talks to me, so he knows what I'm doing with Walletly and everything. But he was just astounded and shocked with the fact that he's been in the student market of, you know, audience that he targets for 10 years, and he's never really seen mobile wallet used super strong up until the last 2 years, and it was even stronger this last September than it was the year before. And it just it was a final convincer almost for him that mobile wallet is, you know, really there in front of people. And, you know, these younger audiences really do use it for a day-to-day way of paying. And there's a whole bunch of stats that I got, which I cannot unfortunately remember off the top of my head, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yes, it is basically the way that customers spend money. We want to make sure that you send those types of notifications. Like Messenger is a channel that you have conversations with people about, not so much tell them notifications, hey, your points have increased, hey, this has happened, hey, you spent money, so we did this. I mean, that's, you know, a different kind of channel, and that's what the wallet is effectively made for.
In terms of how the data then transitions back to the business or the brand that owns the particular loyalty card, how do they access how many subscribers they have, how many points have been redeemed? I mean, clearly the user sees it on their phone, but how does the host get that information?
Well, on Walletly, you can either be a Walletly user or a Wallet Scan user. Okay, and a Walletly user is kind of saying, I'm the owner, I'm the manager, I'm one of the, you know, top guys, top girls in this business. Because if you're a Walletly user, you can see the dashboard, you can see the overview of absolutely everything that's kind of going on. And from here, you know, you can make your decisions realistically. A Wallet Scan user, let's just go with 9 times out of 10, because a Wallet Scan user can also see the dashboards and all the metrics to be able to make decisions based off of. But inside of a Wallet Scan user, we limit those. The vast majority of times, they will be limited to just being a scanner. So they're one of your employees that are going to facilitate a redemption for a coupon, a loyalty card, add points or something like this. But we don't actually want them to see the overall of how this campaign has worked, because that's that kind of staff member. We don't want them to be able to do those kind of things. And from, you know, the employers or the manager's perspective, as a Walletly user, it's just my way of breaking it up as Walletly and Wallet Scan, so it just makes it easier for listeners here. But from the Walletly's user, you're able to look at the logs and check on what redemptions have been made by your Wallet Scan users, to check to see if any of your employees are potentially giving a handful of more stamps. Too many stamps than necessary.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, but I always do this trick. If I've ever got an actual, there's a cafe I go to called Cafe Nero, and you know, I'd always ask for an extra stamp and just see what staff members do it, just for the sake of it. And like, it's always funny because, like, you know, sometimes like they know they got this camera behind them, and they're like, yeah, done, and they go like that twice, and you can just see like. I just think it's one of those things that really, as much as like we all know staff members will always take a bit of a mix, sometimes they're friends or like the cheeky asking or something like this. At least with Walletly, you can track anything with everything, anywhere around the world, any type of redemption, and you can actually see if, you know, all of your staff members are essentially behaving. But obviously, you can look at all of the metrics of exactly how the campaign has also obviously panned out with the quantity of redemptions, how much money has came out of it, how many people opted in for it, and so on and so forth, along with obviously the emails, the phone numbers, and all of that. But to actually talk about the data side of it, I mean, inside of the analytics section of Walletly, there's also a filtering capability. So if you did want to be able to say, I want to filter off everybody who spent less than £20 on this coupon, then you can just filter out those kind of responses and only look for ones that are above. So there's a lot of filtering types of capability inside of there. So you would be able to honestly find any type of data, and also you can always export it and then do what you like somewhere else with it.
Excellent. So one of the things that we just touched on then as well is redemption. So do people need to have a special scanner? Is there a scanning application part of Walletly? How does the business and brands let users redeem these special offers?
Redemption, like this has been a fun road. Redemption.
Okay.
Redemptions can be done in any, like I'm saying like this, can be done in any way with Walletly.
Okay. And give us some examples.
Well, first so I'll go through what we did. First, we launched Wallet Scan, an Apple application that scans a coupon and redeems it. Same for all the other types of campaigns. Next, we found we need capability for a computer or for an Android phone. So the next thing we did was launch Wallet Scan Web. Okay, so Wallet Scan Web gives you the capability of going to a computer, having a camera or having a 2D scanner like you have when you go through the till and it goes beep, beep, beep at the machine. So you can attach one of those. We then also had input code. So every single time that you distribute a coupon, a loyalty card, whatever you do, they have a little code underneath of a QR code that they can read if they want to. And if they like to, you can use this over the telephone. So this means that your customer could be on the phone ordering a pizza, saying, reading off their code, and the employee can be at the restaurant and actually type in the code on what they're actually told. Okay. Next became a web view redemption, and a web view redemption is let's imagine that this is predominantly used inside of a chatbot. Let's imagine that you're going through the use case scenario that you don't want one of your employees to make the redemption. Okay, so you want your customer to auto checkout, we'll refer to it as. And this is like where you have to honestly believe what your customer tells you, okay, or how much they spent. Because if you're ever doing a transaction like redeeming a coupon, we need to know how much they spent on the coupon, because if we're giving them 20% off, we need to know all these metrics.
Yeah.
So I don't usually talk about this one. This is the kind of way that I don't say is preferable from a business owner's perspective, but from a marketer's perspective, it is kind of useful because you're not having to involve any employees, any training, any redemption kind of done by the business. So anyway, the web view basically is inside of a chatbot. User clicks a button. When they click the button, it pulls up a little bit of a screen. It says to the customer, how much did you spend? And then they put it in and they click enter. If they ever click that button again, it won't load up. It'll say, really sorry, but you've already redeemed this coupon. You can no longer redeem this again. The next type of redemption method that then came alive, I think this one actually came back a few steps, but we'll follow this line, was the API redemption. The API redemption essentially means that inside of your chatbot, you could say to somebody, hey, how much have you spent? And they could just enter in the amount. We save that into a user field and then use that value as what we would like to use for the redemption. And obviously the API is not just made for chatbots like ManyChat, for instance, but it can also be used for third-party other softwares and other POS systems. So we should integrate pretty much with any system, but those kind of methods you need to have, basically you need to use the API, and that can be a little bit technical. So when it gets to that. So,
which is why they need agencies to set it up. Hey, is that my pitch? Is that where I jump in to say that's why you need us?
Pretty much. And to set up, and honestly, to set up all of those types of redemption methods, it is like, I mean, everything is very simple to really do. If you work with computers, I find if you work with computers, I feel like, I always make it seem so simple for myself, but it is very, very, very simple. But if you do have technicalities, specifications, or anything upon this nature, the best people to work with are always the agencies. And I mean, a lot of my time, if I ever get anybody coming to me saying like, hey, I need to do this. I would like you to build me the chatbot to do that. I just refer anybody over to one of the agencies that we have using Walletly. Like it's the way that I feel that it needs to work, essentially.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's, as much as people are really focused, I mean, as we all know, that, you know, Facebook is really drilling down on Messenger at the moment and working out who's doing things properly, who's trying to void the rules and are breaking the rules. So yeah, it's definitely, you know, if this spikes your interest and you're interested, we just completely preach to you to go to an expert and make sure that they are a qualified expert. Don't just believe somebody who may have built one bot. There are so many rules. There's so much compliance that you need to acknowledge so that you don't get blocked off Facebook. So yeah, definitely come to an agency instead of having a dabble yourself.
Sorry, can I add something to the redemption? Recently, I'll add something to the redemption and then talk about a little bit on the marketing side of it. In the redemption, recently we have added the prepaid cards as well.
Okay.
So what happened was there was a lot of cafes requested us that they don't want people to line up. And this is from Brisbane. So there's a cafe, I can't name them. They said that, you know, there's a surcharge on every time we sell coffee. What we want to do is we want to sell in bulk. So we want to sell 10 or 15, whatever. We want to give them prepaid cards. And next time they're here, they just scan and walk out. So the redemption is without money. They just scan and walk out. That's it. So now we have another redemption. It's a prepaid card. So they can buy something. At the moment, it's a STEM cards. So they can buy sessions. We have been talking to F45 and a few other gyms as well, where they can buy upfront sessions as well. So they can pay for 5 sessions upfront and they get a discount, and the next time they're here, they just scan and walk out, and it redeemed that. In terms of marketing agency, we've been working on, I think Rupert will highlight more on that. We're working on automation.
Okay.
Looks quite easy and simple, but as a, you know, few things is easy for us, but not for everyone. And these
automation is so underrated in terms of how difficult it is.
Yes. So what we are working on, and it's in a beta right now, automation is a reward-based automation. So the marketer can define, you know, I would like to send SMS, email, people who have spent so-and-so, or people who have these points, who never visited in last 5 days. So you can define the scenarios and you can reach out to them through any of these channels like push notification, ManyChat flows, or SMS and email. Again, this is just a start of automation, but it can go really, really complicated as well. Like you're defining people who install the passes, but they never visited. But then you want to say that they installed it, they visited us, but they never visited second time, or they haven't spent enough money with us. So you can define these automations.
So as an example, we have a retail client, excuse me, that uses Vend. Have you heard of Vend, which is a point of sale software system? And it tracks each of their products that they are purchasing. So correct me if I'm wrong from my understanding, but you could essentially do a social media campaign, or you could connect a bot into a post strategy, for example, showcasing your product. You then bring the user down into a one-on-one personalized conversation within Messenger. You then bring them into or invite them to subscribe to the loyalty reward within mobile wallet that's in there. So it is quite seamless. And once they then start redeeming points, you're saying that there is some automation which is available, which could connect into some sort of point of sale to be able to analyze how many people have redeemed products by points or...
Yes, but we don't need to integrate with POS systems. So the way the wallet scan, the redemption process is already doing it. So we know they have visited and they have certain points. Now you want to reach them out. You can reach them out by SMS, email, and other marketing channels as well. But there's a whole automation in Walletly as well. And that's the whole automation is around 2 areas. One is follow-up. The second part is reward. The follow-up is more on chasing those customers who haven't visited, or let's say they visited, but they haven't spent enough money. The second part is the reward base. You want to reward them. So somebody have, let's say, spend 10 sessions of personal gym, let's say PT sessions. You want to give them a free massage. and their loyalty card will update into a coupon which says a free massage.
And then does it send them a notification when they've received? Yeah. This is brilliant. I absolutely love it. So I will wrap things up because Rupert, I know over in the UK it's super early in the morning for you. It's getting late in the day for us. Pardon?
It's not that early anymore. Here, I just kind of just to point off from that last thing we just said there about the automations and everything. But you know how you describe your use case of like saying you'd like to give somebody a reward based on the products that they redeem at the POS, and as long as your ManyChat account actually knows what was redeemed at the POS. You know, I've built a for Walletly. We've got a Walletly app for ManyChat, for the ManyChat app. Okay. And any types of, you know, wallet notifications you'd like to send based off of any parameters that you can see inside of your ManyChat account on usage of actions or anything, you are going to be able to send them a wallet notification. So if you did want to send somebody a particular type of message based off of what they purchased, and your ManyChat account or your chatbot knew what they purchased, you could then just send them a wallet notification via ManyChat, not via the automations inside of Walletly around that. So you could almost use ManyChat as like the CRM system for being able to send off the wallet notifications in that kind of scenario. So there's lots of different ways you can do automations. Like we've got the new types of automations that are coming which you can't perform on ManyChat, but there's a lot of types of notifications that you could perform in ManyChat the same way that you send SMS, email, and obviously messenger type of notifications. So we're taking some of what we've leaned onto platforms like ManyChat and not leaning on stuff like that so hard anymore, and putting more of it into our own CRM on Walletly for our own automations, making it simpler for our customers, not having to always have to have a ManyChat account in every use case. Not that I don't say you shouldn't, but we don't need everybody to always have extra software. And that's one of the things of like what automations essentially does, is for those who don't want to have extra accounts with Twilio, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, ManyChat, and other ways of being able to send out through the channels, the automations just keep everything inside of Walletly.
Yeah, excellent. I know I was just about to wrap things up, but I've got one more question. I'm feeling excited. So can you have multiple notifications set up dependent on what actions they take within a bot? So for example, if they've clicked on one particular product or one particular button that expresses an interest in one item, can you then send them a notification via their loyalty program that's relevant to that? And then if somebody clicks on another button, so for example, let's get back into a gym. Let me give you a use case to explain that better. They've come through the bot, they've clicked that weight loss is something that is relevant to them. Therefore, the loyalty card which is pushed to them is something to do with a food program or a nutrition program coupled in with the gym membership. Whereas somebody might also click a button that says that they're interested in muscle gain. They want to get pumped for summer. Can you then send them into a different loyalty card within Walletly that talks about personal training with a bodybuilder, for example?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the first and simplest steps. I mean, you're just setting up different campaigns in that scenario of one stamp card or 1 points card is made for customers that are defined by their objective, and the other campaign is defined off of the other objective. That's just easy, simple conditional logic that you build in your ManyChat bot to be able to do that. But again, if you want to speed up how fast you do that, and if you want to do it in under 5 minutes and instead of in under 15 minutes or 20 minutes, maybe the other way around is how long it would have taken you, then just make sure you use the Walletly app for to do that, because everything's just click. Everything with the app is just click and select, as with what we did before the app, because I'm not going to say what it is. what it was before the applications were
Yeah.
there. It was all copy paste and make sure you copy pasted stuff in the right place.
Yeah.
To now, you can't really go wrong unless you actually selected the incorrect thing or click and dropped the wrong thing. So
Okay, that's
very,
awesome.
very small capability on going wrong.
Yeah, awesome. That's great to know. And my last question then, and then I promise I will stop taking your time, is a question that we have been asking everybody within this Let's Chat series. And that is, if you could explain chat marketing to someone who knows nothing about it, how would you do that?
Do you want to go first, Adeel, and I'll go second? Or do you want to go second?
Yeah, look, so beside Monster Hub Walletly, I have another small company where I started putting these selling leads as well. But now I have changed the model. I have put the bots to around 40 companies, small companies. And what I tell them, that it's just simply you're hiring someone virtually who's going to ask a lead, the questions, series of questions you want to ask. But imagine rather than having someone outsource in Philippines or other places, you have someone virtually asking all these questions. And that's for me what the bot is supposed to do. Help them to refine the customers. You can take it to the next level, which should be done. Having that empathy and having that relationship as well, which can be done, like based on the response, and then you provide them, if they are not happy, and you're supposed to tell them, look, we are apologizing, and to make it up, we're giving you another coupon. Audible is a great example. If you go to Audible and if you try to say that I want to cancel my subscription, they're going to come back and say, what is it all about? And they say, if you say that I don't have enough money, they'll say, how about I give you 2 months free? So for me, it's like an intelligent virtual person and sitting without any salary.
Yeah.
Working 24 hours for you.
Yeah, love it. That's great, Adeel. Thank you. And Rupert, how would you explain chat marketing to somebody who knows nothing about it?
Well, I mean, I do it pretty much the same way to what Adeel said. I just usually ask the person these kind of questions of like, how much do you pay somebody an hour to answer questions from someone? Goes from that to point to understanding how much it costs for that person to do it every month, and also to understand that humans forget to chase up, which is the most important thing. As much as you're acquiring leads in whatever way you're doing it, the chase up is the most important thing. And having a chat bot, also one thing I just said the wrong thing there, but never use the word bot. If you ever explain bot to anybody else,
I'm guilty of it. I do it all the time.
don't use the word bot. The main reason I find around bots is that the vast majority of people that I run into that don't understand chat bots, because there are different types of bots, is everybody's first assumption is that you're talking about an engagement hacker bot, which is stuff, stuff on Instagram of like, oh, this is going to get my account banned, because that's the kind of perception that I'd have to say the average go-to person has on the word bot in their life. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I just described them exactly pretty much down to the way of how Adeel says it, which is, I just like to break down the cost and make people kind of realize, bloody hell, for $10 a month, you can't really not have that inside of your
digital marketing strategy,
whatever business you're actually doing, because it's impossible for one person to be on it 24/7 for an entire month and to remember to always get back to everybody. And that is pretty much what it is. So if I ever explain it, I always explain it on the benefits and the cost savings that you have if you include it into the business.
And the other great thing as well is that it's constantly speaking on brand. So you are pre-programming solid responses that deliver the same communication and the same message all the time. So yeah, I love that. I've really enjoyed today's chat, guys. So thank you so much for joining me and taking time out of your day. I appreciate it. I'm excited to... Pardon?
It's been fun. It's been enjoyable.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right. Well, thank you, guys. I'll chat to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.